along with a graduate certificate in executive coaching. So I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a graduate certificate.
What's a graduate certificate?
So a graduate certificate is a program at a master's level that you get a certificate in, but not necessarily a degree in. So it's not a master's degree, but it's a graduate level certificate. It took me about an extra year or so in my master's program to get it. It would kind of be like when people say they have a minor in something, it's kind of like having a minor. But I do actually have a national certification as a graduate level certified executive coach.
Okay. Okay. And what, like, can you give me an example of what type of thing you would be doing as an executive coach?
Absolutely.
Like, what's that even mean?
That's a great question. Everybody always asks that. As soon as I say I'm a coach, people assume it's like sports coaching, you know, which I kind of wish it was. No, I'm just kidding. A graduate level certified executive coach is someone who is professionally trained to lead and mentor individuals as well as groups, really just toward accomplishing their goals. So if an individual wants to accomplish a goal and they're kind of stuck, and a coach can help them get through the hurdles and through the roadblocks and set achievable goals until they accomplish their final goal. A coach can also work with groups of people. In fact, some organizations out there, some companies have actually started to hire full-time certified executive coaches just to help them get through. The easiest way to explain what an executive coach does is it's kind of like a therapist, but in the business sense. So it's like having a work therapist, but you don't get into any kind of personal details. It's all just about the goal and how to accomplish the goal.
Okay, and when you mean business, is that strictly related to like business and running a business, or can it be anything like nursing, healthcare? Related?
Great question. So when I say business, I just mean anything career oriented.
Okay.
I mean excluding personal things.
Okay.
So like if somebody came to me and said, "I want you to help me get a date," that's not my thing. Or I want you to help so and so fall in love with me, or I want to become a better person. Well, that's not necessarily what an executive coach helps do. But if a person comes to me and says, you know, I've always wanted to get a bachelor's degree in something, okay, let's work on that. Or I can also do financial counseling. So if someone says, you know, I'm trying to save a nest egg, I can't seem to do it, I don't know what my problems are, I can sit down with them and help them step by step to work out the issues, overcome the hurdles, and get to the achievable goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that, like, how often does that happen?
So I have my own private coaching business, and so I've had private clients over the years. I work with both individual clients as well as groups, and that's just kind of on the side of whatever I do full time. And that is for an individual, like sort of agreed upon pay rate. Mm-hmm. But I will say that I use the executive coaching portion of my abilities in my everyday work all the time. Okay. So when I'm a nursing manager, when I've been any type of a supervisor, director, or even just a colleague to someone else in the business world, I have always used my executive coaching skills, just kind of interwoven it into everyday things that I do.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So is it like a phone call, or are you going emails back and forth? Are you meeting up with them in person? Like, how does...
Well, these are such great questions, Lucas. It's all of the above.
Really?
So I have always traditionally worked with people in person.
Okay.
So somebody either checks out my website, or they've heard about me, or they call me and they say, I want to use your services. I'll usually do a quick little phone call just to assess what their needs are and see if I'm the right person for them. Yeah. Then we will meet together. In person is preferred. You can certainly do it over the phone or over Zoom, if you will. But in person is preferred, and we will sit and the first session is usually just identifying the problem and what it is and what the goal is, and then each subsequent session after that is accomplishing the miniature goals to get you closer and closer to the ultimate goal. Okay. And an executive coach really helps to hold the person accountable. Okay. So it's almost like the person hires you to make themselves more accountable. Because I will hold you to the goals that you set, and if you can't get them, we will find out why. And if a person is just sort of staggering along and not wanting to do the steps, not because they can't do it, but because they don't want to do it, then as the coach, I have to reevaluate with them whether or not they truly want to do this or not, because it could just be a waste of their money if they really don't want to do it.
Yeah, I guess, like, do people come to you and they're... What if they come to you with a profession you know nothing about? Like, I don't know if you know anything about like plumbing or cars or like electricity or something. What if they hire you or want you as their executive coach? Do you go into that field, or are you only touching base with people, like things you like know? well of?
So it depends. For the most part, an executive coach doesn't have to know a single thing about the field that they're helping the person in. However, if it is so extraordinarily specialized, then I may, as a coach, just say, I might not be the right person for you. If you're wanting to do, photonic lasers around Mars, I might say, gosh, I know absolutely, I don't even know how to begin. But if someone says something about a field that say auto mechanics, I'm not an auto mechanic, I've never taken auto mechanic lessons per se, but if they want that, I know enough about that industry to where I can at least help them, because the executive coach helps them establish their next goals, their next steps, and how they're going to accomplish that. So I might ask the person, what do you think your next step should be? This is how it's different from therapy. In therapy, a therapist can tell the person, here's what I think you should do next. That's guiding the patient or the client. In executive coaching, you never, as a coach, say, here's what I think you should do next. The question is always, what do you think you should do next? And then I will help you achieve that step or that part of the goal.
So you're almost like an assistant?
Almost like a cheerleader, an assistant, an accountable person, almost like a friend, if you want to call it that. But if someone says to me, I know that my next step is I need to take a particular class in auto mechanics before I can get to a certification, then I may say, okay, let's forget about the certification. Let's talk about just that step. How are we going to get you to that class? Now, I don't have to know anything about that class, but the person will usually have 3 or 4 roadblocks. They'll say, well, 1, I don't have the money. 2, I don't have the time. 3, I don't have that. And we break down each one of those points. Tell me about the money. Why don't you have the money? What if you skip going out to pizza three times this month? Could you then afford it? Absolutely, I could. Tell me about the time. What if you gave up X, Y, or Z? So I'm just really helping them by asking questions. What if, until they finally go, you know what? I can do that. So it's all about just helping them get to the next step.
Is that like a side hustle where you like do it every now and then, or you frequently are like, you have clients on like a weekly basis, monthly, yearly?
Great question.
Like how often?
It's all the above. So in the past, I have had a full-time job. Plenty of points in my life, I've held more than 1 full-time job, sometimes 2 jobs or 2 full-time jobs. And in addition to that, I will do executive coaching. So executive coaching for me is something that I do as a side job. However, I do see it evolving in my career to where I do it more and more and more, so that when the day comes where I become, say, semi-retired at my regular job, maybe cut down to half-time, 20 hours a week, then I may want to do coaching more. Now, there's going to be a day in my future where I will be doing that full-time. I know that for a fact. And my other career, nursing career, what have you, will probably come to an end, and I'll just do the coaching full time. So it's almost more like something I'm looking forward to as a retirement gig, if you will. But as far as the current time goes, I usually have 1 or 2 or sometimes just 3 individual clients, and they may want to see me every week. They may want to see me just once or twice a year when they get stuck, when they need to move on. I had one client that wanted to see me every single week. Until she got her dream job, and I helped her all along the way. Each step, she thought it was impossible. We broke it down week after week after week, and she actually got her dream job offer. And so then she ended the client services with me. A few years later, she wanted something else in her life that she couldn't seem to get past, so she hired me again. I helped her get to that step. I have also worked with entire groups or organizations. There's one particular organization that I work with right now, which I won't name, but it's an organization that's hired me to work with them, and I just guide them and help them get to the next step. Cool. And I do all that in addition to my regular full-time nursing job.
So you see success stories with the coaching?
Yes, lots of success stories. In fact, I've never had a person come to me and say that it didn't help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want like your website in the video?
I would be happy to give you my website in the video.
What's your website? We'll pop it up on the screen.
It's RC. So it's Remick Coaching and Consulting, RCC. I'll have to give you the actual website. Yeah, I don't have it memorized. I think it's Remick Coaching and Consulting.weebly.com or something like that. So I will be happy to give it to you at the end.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I designed the website myself, so it's a little bit.
You know how to do that too?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the best website in the world, but it certainly gets the information out there and shows people what coaching is all about.
Nice.
So yeah.
Is so. When did you become an RN?
Okay.
Like what year was that?
Great.